So one of the most saddest fan bases is the Smash Bros. Fan base. They really just need to let it go at this point. Fire Emblem is one of Nintendo's big franchises. I know people will not want to see this, but Nintendo is intent on growing a lot of the smaller franchises. We've seen insane growth in a lot of Nintendo's smaller franchises. Yes, I know Nintendo fans want to see a new Kid Icarus game because Kid Icarus hasn't seen a game in a while, but Fire Emblem is one of the... Okay, the reason why Fire Emblem is an ongoing franchise and Kid Icarus isn't is Kid Icarus Uprising. I know that people will not want to stomach this. Kid Icarus Uprising didn't sell very well. It only sold like 1 million copies, which is still a lot, but Fire Emblem Awakening sold like 2.3 million copies. I thought it only sold like 1.6 million copies, but it actually sold 2.3 million copies. Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem Three Houses, the last entry in the series, and must account Engage, which no one liked, but Engage sold 1.6 million copies, and that was an underwhelming game in the franchise. If the underwhelming game in the franchise still sells 1 million copies because of how big the game is, imagine how well Three Houses 2, which is what this basically is, sells. And Smash fans need to get over the fact that Fire Emblem exists, okay? I get it. They're upset that Fire Emblem has too many spots in Smash Bros, okay? We also realize Smash Bros is kind of the reason why Fire Emblem is still alive. Okay, it was Sakurai's choice to include Marth and Roy in Smash Bros. If it wasn't for that, Fire Emblem would have never been localized to the rest as well. If it wasn't for Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem would have never continued the way it has been, and it probably would have stayed an exclusive Japanese IP that most people don't care about. Or they probably won't make it at all and find something else. But Fire Emblem has become a somewhat of a miracle series as well. Kind of like Pikmin. The reason why Pikmin 4 took so long to make was because Miyamoto wanted Pikmin 4, but Nintendo didn't think Pikmin 4 would sell well. That's the reason why they remade Pikmin 3 and put it onto the Wii U, to the Switch as well. Because Nintendo didn't really say, hey, Pikmin 3 didn't really sell too well, but hey, we have the Switch now. Let's see how many people buy Pikmin 3 on the Switch. And guess what? Pikmin 3 sold 2 to 3 million copies on the Switch. Let's put out Pikmin 4, and guess what? Pikmin 4 becomes the best-selling entry in the entire series as well, selling nearly 4 million copies. Of course, it probably did sell 4 million copies. Nintendo hasn't updated the sales for Pikmin 4 since 2024, but Pikmin 4 it was a major game. It still sold 4 million copies. Yes, it didn't make consoles fly off the shelves like a 3D Mario game did or a 3D Zelda game is. But Nintendo fans need to stop acting like the only games people buy on Nintendo platforms is 3D Mario, 3D Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Smash. Yes, those are the big hitters, but we have a new 3D Donkey Kong game. Why don't people give that game a chance? Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong is still one of Nintendo's best-selling franchises. Donkey Kong Country Return sold 8 million copies. I don't know how much Tropical Freeze sold, but Donkey Kong Country sold 10 million copies, the one for the SNES. Donkey Kong Bonanza has huge sales potential, and people don't realize this. Mario Kart World is going to sell regardless because it's Mario Kart, but Donkey Kong Bonanza has huge sales potential. Fire Emblem, has huge sales potential, okay? Kirby Outriders has huge sales potential even as well, okay? As well, yes, the original Kirby Ally didn't really sell too well, but Kirby as a series has seen significant growth in sales as well, where Forgotten Land actually beat the original Kirby's Dream Land, and Kirby is now in the A tier franchise. It's not the S tier franchises like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and Splatoon, and Animal Crossing and Smash Bros., which I consider Nintendo's huge franchises, but it's still an A tier franchise. I consider Kirby, Fire Emblem, Pikmin, and of course, Metroid A tier franchises. Yes, Metroid is still an A tier franchise, and Xenoblade might teeter on this as well. Then B tier franchises like in C tier, and like F tier franchises like Earthbound, which just haven't seen an entry in a while, or F-Zero. Basically, F tier franchises are basically dormant franchises as well. Also counting Yoshi, and also Nintendo does count Yoshi and Donkey Kong technically as Mario games, but they're really not about Mario. Yoshi in the Mysterious Book is about Yoshi, not Mario. But this shows you how pathetic Smash fans are. Like, it's been, like, they're really just upset over Fire Emblem, okay? As well, okay? Okay, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, by the time I was like, oh yay, Fire Emblem, but I don't really care about Fire Emblem. So hey, but happy for the fans of Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem is still a huge franchise. Okay, it's not as big as Zelda, but Fire Emblem is a very fast-growing franchise, very similar to another Nintendo franchise, Pikmin, as well. I love Pikmin, but I know most Nintendo fans are like, oh, Pikmin. It's not 3D Mario, but for me, who has played Pikmin his whole life, it's a big deal for Pikmin, for me seeing Pikmin 4. Okay, and so yeah, Pikmin 4 isn't as great as the previous three Pikmin games, but that's mostly because of nostalgia for Pikmin 1 and 2. It's very, very hard to overcome nostalgia for those two games as well. Unfortunately, nostalgia strikes again. Also, Pikmin 4, I do think is too easy as well. Okay, the game was pretty easy as well. Yeah, well, but yeah, it is kind of funny that these people hate Fire Emblem so much. The Smash fans are really just upset and angry over Fire Emblem as well because they stole a spot from Crash Bandicoot. Absolutely pathetic and sad. Goodbye.